Hello, guys. Welcome to Seagull Land, Lunatic Astrology. I'm your astrologer, Lori Lothian, and today we're talking about Mars trining Uranus. Mars exalted in Capricorn, conjunct Venus, trining Uranus in the sign of Taurus. As an Earth trine, it brings resourcefulness and prosperity and good things to us, especially given that Venus is involved and so are Jupiter, and I'll talk about how in a minute. I want you to know that this is an opportunity to seize the day, to break through, to have great freedom, to have reckless abandon, and maybe a bit of amazing luck with love and money. Before I go into that, how this will impact you when this happens this week, exact on February the 8th, but you're feeling it already. I'm recording on February the 5th. It's already in play all the way through from about February 5th, 6th, all the way until about, you even felt it as early as February 2nd until about the maybe the 11th even of February. So let's get started. I want to talk about a couple of things before I tell you about your sign and how this impacts you based on your rising sign, sun or moon. I want to talk about how this also may impact the collective. Before I do that, please consider hitting my like button and subscribing, and hit the bell so you're notified when I post something. And if you're listening to this, please hit that old like button and comment, because it helps my channel grow. It increases the algorithmic success of any channel on YouTube. And lastly, check out my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter. Every week I put it out there on a Sunday. I got my own hair in my mouth, and you can get a free gifts from me, entered into monthly contests for a free reading, and that are only for subscribers. And just by being a subscriber, there's 2 free contests a month. One you have to participate in actively, but the other contest is just because you subscribe. So every month I draw from all of my 800 subscribers to my newsletter, and we get a free reading for somebody. So why not just come on in and check it out? If you don't like it, you can always unsubscribe. It's a forecast newsletter every Sunday. Let's get going then. Don't forget as well, just check the box below for everything I'm doing. You'll know when there's a sale and stuff like that. There are chapters here. You just have to click through to the chapter, and you can see where your rising sign is, or the timestamps in the description box, or I always post timestamps in the comments. Now, holy man, let me describe why I really like this particular Mars trine Uranus this time around. First of all, Mars trine Uranus happens approximately the way it's happening now once every 2 years. This is Mars moving through Capricorn, applying or moving toward Taurus, right? And therefore, in energy terms, this is like Mars moving his energy toward Uranus and Taurus. So that applying trine is very powerful. We get a waning, similar effect when Mars from Virgo looks back over his shoulder behind him at Taurus as well. So yes, twice every 2 years, there is a Mars trine to Uranus. The type of trine we're having now, Mars from Capricorn looking over at Uranus and Taurus, is only happening once every 2 years. So keep that in mind. Now, it's even rarer because Uranus takes around 80 something years to go through the zodiac, spends approximately 7 years in any sign. No matter what, unless you've lived past the age of 87 or 84 or 85, you have not seen Mars in Capricorn trining Uranus in Taurus. You would have to be alive back in the 1930s. So this is also rare by virtue of that. So when we talk about rarity, it's going to be rare for you in your natal chart, because wherever Taurus is traveling, whichever of the 12 houses, which have individual meanings of your life, my house of marriage, my house of career, my house of home, my house of body, it's going to have a different meaning. For some of you new to astrology, if you want to go to astro.com and astroseek.com and put your birth time in, you'll get a chart with 12 houses. Use the whole sign house system. I'm a Hellenistic whole sign house astrologer with a dash of Babylonian, tropical zodiac. You're going to find it's much more accurate, trust me, for the kind of stuff we're doing here. Whole sign house system is a drop-down menu. Second of all, if you don't want to learn the houses all by yourself, and you want to learn the meanings of the houses, check my free PDF below. In the freebies section of the description box, you can download my in-depth report that I created for my classes about the meaning of the 12 houses. So this rarity is happening in one piece of your sky. It's happening in your marriage house. It's happening in your money house. It's happening in your real estate house. You know what I mean? So this is what's exciting about the Uranity. The Uranus outer planet transit makes this also kind of rare. Next of all, in this break free, daring do, seize the day, drive for excitement, reckless abandonment, exciting energy. There's also the fact that this has happened before. So we can't disregard the fact that you've experienced this, most of you listening, unless you're very young already. I mean, you wouldn't, well, I'll tell you when. So this applying Mars in Capricorn to Uranus in Taurus happened back in February of 2020. Okay, that's the only time it's happened in your lifespan as a listener, again, unless you're in your hundreds or 90s or late 80s. So you've already had a foretaste of it in February 2020 because Uranus had just ingressed into Uranus ingressed just into Taurus, and we have the Capricorn Mars transit. And then here we have this one perfecting on February 8th, and you'll get two more, January 29th, 2024, and January 20th, 2026. So that's it. We're done. 4 transits and we're done. So it's nice and rare. What I really think I like the most about this transit is that Mars is traveling in a conjunction, almost near perfect. It will be perfect on February 16th, to Venus, a benefic. Mars and Venus are cosmic lovers. This is a reset. This is a new beginning. 2 planets together is like a new moon. We're resetting love, and we're resetting money. We're resetting ambition and drive. We're resetting Mars and Venus themes as they join together in the sky on February the 16th in a perfect conjunction. But they'll be traveling together pretty close to each other all the way through to the end of March, which is really crazy. In the meantime, Mars is kind of bona fide and Venus is right beside him, sort of sending Venusian love and money, goodness, and kissing him on the cheek and flirting with him. And so Mars is temperamentally in Capricorn, very powerful. He's exalted. He can act like the commander in chief. He can act like the convoy of truckers in Ottawa, Canada, and now spreading across the world. Truckers, Mars, convoy, exalted. There's almost like a military quality when Mars is in Saturn's sign of Capricorn, where Mars is sort of acting out in kind of like generals, like a general of some kind. And so Mars is strong in Capricorn. He's exalted in the VIP house of Saturn, and he's sitting with benefic Venus with her boss babe Capricorn shoulder pads on. She's very earthy, grounded, refined taste, likes a mink coat, wants fine furniture, but also does make love enduring and realistic and lasting. So ironically, even though Uranus is involved and it can mean a love outside the box or a raging sudden romance and maybe not likely to last, for instance, I disagree with that in this case. Venus doesn't want fling. She wants enduring love in Capricorn. And so even though there's the Uranian element that some of us will experience unexpected surges of brand new love stories, or with our current partner, crazy ass desire to play kinky stuff out in the bedroom, it definitely is going to be about the more lasting love story. Same with the money story. Venus in Capricorn isn't looking for a jackpot at the casino. She's looking for enduring forms and lasting legacy forms of wealth. And each of us in our lives will have these things playing out sometime this week. Now we talk about luck. Jupiter is the god of luck. Venus brings luck too. Jupiter is clearly a luck and opportunity god. Jupiter in the sky during this is sitting at 9 degrees of Pisces in his home sign in dignity, and we'll have Uranus in Capricorn at 11 and 10-11, and Uranus at 10-11, and then Venus hovering there right beside him at like 12-13 degrees. What this does is create a really luscious sky in which Mars is basically sextiling Jupiter, and then Jupiter's passing the buck and sextiling Uranus. And that makes a little bit of a mini grand trine in the sky. The energy is Jupiter wants to pitch in, and he's the god of luck. What does that mean? Lucky breaks in money and love. Now, add to the juice that Jupiter's sitting with Eros, the god of eroticism, passion, Cupid's arrow. Yay. Life force energy. Yay. Add to that that Mars is not sitting by himself in the sky either. He's also connecting very strongly to another energy called, oh, which asteroid was he with? I almost forgot. I have to go check my asteroid. I remember before I even looked. He's sitting with Pholos. Pholos is the domino effect, is the asteroid that can represent some small thing, like a snowball taking off. Prince Harry's wife, Meghan Markle, has Pholos on her midheaven, which means one small thing will dramatically change her public status. Well, yes, like how about marrying a prince? But it started with one small date. So here's the deal. There's something in your life this coming up this week that may not seem like a big deal. It may seem incidental, and yet it's going to allow a snowball or domino effect into some larger, bigger story later on, connected to money and to love. And luck in money and luck in love and suddenness. electrifying change that Uranus can bring. I love the sky, guys. I really do. Now, what I want to say, I want to give you an example of how this can play out. I just had a class today for my Patreon community, and a couple of our participants shared how this money luck energy with Venus and Mars and Uranus played out for them already, because this has been in effect since really February 2nd. Recording this on the 5th. My Patreon community gets it first, and this will go public a couple of days later. But, you know, both women had unexpected money bonuses already. One person got a friend who delivered just a gift of some money to her. The other one got a really weird check for a tornado that she was in. And it was this kind of public dispensation for people in neighborhoods that were hit by a tornado. And it just came in the mail for her also during this time. For me, I got a really weird IPO check from an old company that I had insurance with like 6 years ago or whatever, or 5 years ago. And I just got news that a check was for me and a friend who both shared a property together for house insurance, which makes sense. Well, I'll show you why later when I get to the Aquariuses of the world. I'll tell you how the Uranus in my house of real estate and home delivered a check from an old home insurance policy so far this week. Good things happen in threes. If you already had one, you can get two more. If you had two, you get one more. Don't expect this to be a week in which you don't feel grateful. Now, I'm going to do the all signs. I hope you enjoyed that bit of a ramble. I didn't really talk about the collective. I meant to. I do apologize. For the collective, in a nutshell, you know, Mercury's trying his best to dig out secrets from the underworld. He's conjunct Pluto. He'll be conjunct Pluto February 11th. Just before we get to that big reveal of secrets and hidden things from the public eye, it's very possible in that Capricorn stellium where Mars and Venus are happening that we're going to find some disclosures around sexuality, you know, maybe impropriety. Maybe it's coming out of the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. I don't know. And as well, you may find that with that kind of Mercury-Pluto contact at the same time, we have a Saturn-Sun contact in the sky, that this could likely or possibly, not neither one, it's a waning Sun-Saturn, be news of a death of an elder or a statesman or some high-level political person or high-level political person stepping down or away from power. Those are examples, but with Uranus, shocking and unexpected or sudden or jolting energies are in the sky. I don't know. I'm not into the whole crypto thing, but I do have some concerns about the general stock market turbulence and usually the way the unsteadiness has been looking. I'm going to say that possibly Uranus in the sky with this Venus, Mars, Pluto, Mercury could be extreme volatility in the stock market in the week ahead. Those are just possibilities. Volatility can be high, high, low, low, high, high, low, low, that kind of thing. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's do the all signs. I'm expecting Joe Biden to step down. And if you've been listening to my videos, by the way, I'm also fully expecting Omicron is the end of the pandemic. I've been predicting the end of the pandemic since way the frig back as in November and even earlier to do with the Mars story and Babylonian God of Plague story. So this is the end of the pandemic. So yay us. The end of lockdowns, mandates, restrictions, and stuff like that as we get into an endemic stage of pandemic. All right, let's move on and talk about each of the signs as we go. Remember, your rising sign is the most accurate because it's the most intimately who you are. It's about connected to your time of birth. The sun is less accurate. It can represent sometimes, you can listen to your sun sign, your purpose, your career, your motivation and ambition in life. And then you can also take a quick peek at your moon sign. Sometimes it's good because if you're born at night, you might relate to your moon sign more than your sun, but also you can look at your moon to do with your comfort, your emotional satisfaction, and that part of your life when you listen to the readings. In Vedic astrology, they always say listen to your moon sign because it represents how you feel about what's happening in your life. So, but definitely in terms of circumstances, listen to your rising. If you hear a weird noise behind me, I'm apologizing. My washing machine's going, and so I can hear it really loudly here. I'm hoping you're not hearing this weird grinding sound in the background, because I sure can hear it. Okay, so we're going to start off, and I think I'll just start with Aries. Is that what I want to do? Do I want to break free and start with somebody else? I might do that, guys. You know, I might start with somebody else. Now I'll start with Aries. Oh my gosh, I apologize for my flaky day. I'm just putting Aries into my screen. I find it easier when I'm looking at the chart to talk about the chart than to just have it in my memory. If you don't mind, I'm just gonna do that now. And oh my God, my software is so slow. Come on, let's move. It's professional software, yes. And sometimes I can't believe it's so slow. Okay, boom, we're going. Let's start. Aries, sun, moon, rising sign. Guess what? You are having this amazing energy of seize the day, go forward, dare to dare, take risks, break free, new projects, new ideas, new momentum in your energy field, okay, of your money and career houses. So what's happening is Uranus is in your money and earnings house, and it can often be connected to the acquisition or the sale of possessions like house, car, whatever. It also can be about breakthroughs, rags to riches in that second house of money. And it can also be about dramatic changes in vocational direction. This Uranus is in a trine to exalted Mars in your 10th house conjunct Venus. Don't forget Pholos is up there. What thing at the top of your sky, your house of career and reputation, could be a small incidental move, not a big deal, you know? An email you send, an email you open, a book you read, you know, a contact you make. And if you're employed by somebody else, this could be an incidental thing in the house of employment, like where your boss or somebody, you know, Mars decides to move you to a new division or change something in the workplace or in the structure of your work. Mars is about change. So Venus up there makes it benefic and a positive change in the work house and the reputation house, and lasting change, because what Venus cares about is legacy, lasting, enduring Capricornian stability. She's not going to bring benefic change that's just going to be fleeting. Luck from Jupiter conjunct Eros, passion, eroticism in the house of your dreams at night, your meditations, your own self-undoing, like get rid of those addictions, your 12th house, but also Jupiter in the house of foreign lands and money from revenue from foreign lands. So like PayPal and Stripe accounts for those of us who are independently employed or have international businesses. So this is a Jupiter story, and sometimes I'm bringing luck, but luck coming from the 12th house for you, Aries people rising especially, is karmic. So Jupiter, while he's in your 12th house, will get you into a state of, by the way, getting very deep and, you know, looking for a guru or going deeper into spiritual searching, or maybe even into non-ordinary things like meditation, shamanism, and stuff like that. But Jupiter right now hooking up with Venus as well as Uranus could literally mean a very karmic lucky windfall coming your way, Aries folk. Now, I'm an Aries Sun, Moon, and Mercury, and I had a windfall already this week, which I mentioned lightly in the beginning of this recording. Certainly, I would also say that if you want to make a significant lasting change in your career path that you think will go the distance with Mars exalted up here, Venus, Mercury, and Pluto, this is the thing you set in motion now will go many years into your future. It's not a one and done. It's big energy for lasting career power. Pluto's only in your 10th house, Aries, until 2024. He's got a couple more years to go, and he's lending a hand to power in your reputation and career house as well. All right, moving on. Taurus, sun, moon, rising sign. I hope that you guys I hope I'm not drowned out by that thing behind me. And I hope also my video isn't going that, you know, unstable internet thing I've been getting, which is driving me nuts. And I'm on high speed internet. I don't even know what to make of it. Maybe I should move my desk in closer to the router, although it's like 2 feet away from me. I don't know how much closer I can get. All right. We're talking about the Tauruses, Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. So you guys are experiencing the energy of Uranus in your first house of your identity. This has been a time since 2018 of rediscovery and reinvention and overhaul of who you think you are. Depending on where your rising sign sits, it's been more intense. So Taurus is, if your rising sign is between 5 and 15 degrees of Taurus, or if your sun or moon is, you're really, really getting a big hit from this week's lucky Mars applying a gorgeous trine to Uranus in the house of your identity, and Venus up there bonifying and blessing the whole thing. This can be love in an academic setting. This could be amazing change and forward momentum in an academic setting like a college or a campus, or a opportunity for a trip to a foreign land that's going to be highly juicy and pleasurable and exciting and, you know, totally yay you. If you are at all spiritual and go to church or have a religion or a spiritual practice, this is amplifying that. But with Uranus's energy, it's also very original and outside the box. You probably don't have, with Uranus in your first house, trining Venus and Mars conjoined, an everyday spiritual path, that's for sure. Now, You could get some information or news as well with Mercury so close, coming from an academic setting, from a court or legal setting. Anyone who's a Taurus and you've been dealing with legal issues that require a judge or a jury or visas or passports or things like that, this is breakthrough energy, because now Mars exalted, commanding the store with nobody to tell them what to do, can actually power up that part of your sky and lead to great success in those areas. Lucky breaks in those areas as well. With Jupiter sitting on Eros, asteroid Eros, in Pisces at 9 degrees right now. They're traveling together. Pisces, Eros and Jupiter are holding hands. What erotic life force energy is picking up steam? What kind of passionate energy are you feeling from Jupiter in your 11th house of friends and allies and group associations in that sextile to Uranus? I think that could look really, really very much like a feeling of lucky and opportunity energy coming from your allies who are friends, like a friend saying, hey, here's an opportunity here's a chance to, and whatever it is may involve the 9th house themes too, like travel, foreign lands, higher education, religious and spiritual beliefs, and all of that. I think that's it. It's pretty exciting. I'm happy for all of us. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign. I want you guys to understand that you're seizing the day with Mars in Capricorn conjunct lucky Venus in your 8th house of money that doesn't belong to you, with some unexpected Uranian developments in your 12th house. Your 12th house is your house of your insights that come from dreams and reverie. And you know, Uranus can be like the pineal gland download. You know, I got this crack in my head from years of psychic readings. You know, it's my third eye crack. But I'm going to tell you, it's like your third eye crack is wide open. Some of you Geminis could have an amazing inspiration or idea, aha, come to you from a daydream, a meditation, sleeping at night. Anyway, from your 12th house. Jolting energy of aha-ness, activating momentum in finances. Now, your 7th house can be bequeathment monies like inheritances, bank loans, dividend monies from investments or investments taking off, those sorts of things. So some of you are having a huge stimulation of energy in the 8th house. Now, technically, it is a house of inheritance. Uranus is in the house of hospitals. If you've been waiting for an inheritance and someone is sick in the hospital, as much as we don't want that, Mars, Uranus in this alignment could mean that person passes away. But you know, what can you do? That's just life, right? Mars in a sextile to Jupiter in the 10th house of reputation is amplifying some success in your career. The Jupiter in your 10th house can be your boss or the higher ups above you in the career path. And so you could get benefic advancements and opportunities that increase your financial wellness through some higher up in your career path. And if you're a Gemini who is the higher up, you know, like a teacher, mentor, guide, CEO, or something in the top of the sky, then you are creating those benefits for your own finances by this lucky, auspicious Jupiter and Eros energy at the top of the sky. And Jupiter, Eros, what the luck comes through ambition or opportunities that are connected to your passion or something you feel excited about, right? Eros, life force energy. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising sign. You are having the energy of Mars and Venus, the cosmic lovers, dancing together next to Pholos, that little thing that becomes a big thing in the house of significant others. That can be a business partner or a marriage partner, or the one you're with that you're committed to. And sometimes for some of you, if your career involves putting things into the public to sell or to offer, this is your fan base, your marketplace, etc. It's the 10th house from the 10th house. It's where there's the visible output from the career path. So one thing I'd say for you in this storyline is that with this energy of, you know, a Pholos, the asteroid with Mars, sees the day in Capricorn, trining Uranus in the 11th house of windfalls, pennies from heaven, great gains from your career, and sudden things that can happen through friends who want to give you favors. Holy man, this could be really opportune time. And now, it's an interesting combination of energies, because I think with that 7th house, it could be a business partnership thing. It could be a social network friend who's benefiting your output in your career. If you're married and you're with somebody, we just go with the love story part of it for a minute. Jupiter is part of the path, right, of this this kind of neat sky. And Jupiter is in Pisces in your 9th house next to asteroid Eros. And he's loving up that Uranus energy in your 11th house. So first of all, if you're a single Cancer, a friend could introduce you from the sudden events in the 11th house to somebody in or from a foreign ethnicity, culture, or land, or in a higher educational setting that you are going to have an amazing, enduring love affair with, Venus and Mars conjunct. So that's how I can story that. But say there's other ways I could say, if you're a Cancer rising and you want to go back to school, because Jupiter is going through your 9th house, a lot of you want to study something or learn something for, you know, at least a year. It could take you back to academics or just other kind of course. Then Jupiter is saying sudden opportunities for learning through Uranus in the house of social groups and networks with an affiliation with the 7th house. So, you know, maybe your spouse or your partner says, you know, let's get you into that course. I really think it's the best thing for you. This is some ideas here. Could even be that your partner or your spouse is looking at starting up something new in their own story regarding learning as well. You know, the last thing I want to say is Mars is the god of cutting and severing, and he's coming into your 7th house. Venus is there. She wants to make things lastingly positive, harmonious, and good. But Mars is snipping and cutting. Pluto and Mercury are there. For some Cancers, there's an ending coming, seize the day ending coming to an existing relationship. It could be rather sudden or dramatic with Uranus's involvement, but ultimately it's a positive ending. But you know, just to let you know, something could end, but it's good for you. Maybe even wanting a relationship to end, and finally the person says, I think we need to end this. And you're like, holy man, I'm so glad they said that. I agree. You know, who knows? Leo, sun, moon, rising sign, you guys have this energy of the Venus Mars conjunction energy in your 6th house of your daily habits and routines, your workplace environment, your office or your collegiate workspace with coworkers. And sometimes it can also be, if you're the boss, where your coworkers, where your employees are, right? And so Venus and Mars are sitting here, and don't forget Mars is with Pholos. One small thing can happen that has a domino or a snowball effect. With Venus, this is like an office romance for some Leos, falling in love with someone in the collegiate office space. But it can also be a new reset around money and love connected to work, right? Venus and Mars are co-joining, getting ready for the February 16th conjunction. We're building up a big reset there. There's dramatic energy with Uranus and Taurus at the top of your sky in your 10th house. This could be dramatic changes in the workplace too, like whereas Uranus up there could say the boss was suddenly leaving, a new boss came in, someone suddenly got promoted. Big changes in work and career energy leading to changes in work habits, routines, and stuff like that. Now, with Jupiter on Eros, passion, and everything else in Pisces in your 8th house, these changes are really good for your money. This is like, oh my gosh, you know, let's open up the floodgates. Do you need an advance on something? Do you need a bank loan that you're really hoping to get? Do you want your boss to pay you what you're worth? Do you want to get a stake in the company? Do you want to be an investor in your company? Do you want to retire and get that pension plan? Do you want to buy out to leave your job and get money from leaving and getting payout or buyout? Those are because of the 8th house monies. Jupiter is trying to help you prosper in your 8th house. Now, hey, Jupiter moving through your 8th house till middle of May is a bequeathment transit, but this also has a lot of energy to do with your workplace this week. So I'm not going to necessarily focus on a bequeathment, but letting you know that that's in play as well. Could someone be passing away? But because it's in your 10th and 6th house, it's to me more about something good coming through your finances this week regarding work and money, and very exciting, dramatic energy as well. I'm going to go grab some water so I can continue with everybody. So give me a minute. Okay, so continuing on with our narrative, we're talking next about Virgo people, Virgo, sun, moon, and especially, of course, the rising sign. So Virgo, let me take some water. Virgo, you're going to experience this energy of the cosmic lovers, Mars and exalted in Capricorn, conjunct Pholos in the house of romance with Venus nearby. Now, first of all, super excellent energy for single Virgos to get hooked up with a very passionate but ultimately enduring love story in the week ahead. And this kind of runs out all the way through to end of March, really, or to at least until the end of the first week of March for you guys. But this week has got this lucky energy in the sky. So lucky in love, lucky in money, right? And I would say to you, because this energy is connected to Uranus and Taurus in your ninth house, this is a house of foreign lands, churches, courts, book publishing, all of that stuff, and maybe even academic settings. So, you know, in some way, for some of you, Virgo rising, you might find love blooming on a trip to a foreign shore. You might find your romance heating up, but also in an enduring way, because of this love and money reset in the house of romance, and connected to foreign trips and foreign shores. So also, if you're an academically person, you know, going to school, college or university, or studying something, you could have love blossom with a fellow student during this time. But anything that starts up now, it's going to have hopefully a lasting impact, because Venus is trying her best to stick the landing on lasting love when she's in Capricorn. Even though the Uranus is there, it may be sudden, exhilarating, exciting, outside the box energy, freedom and all of that is still potentially going to last. Now, Jupiter in your seventh house of marriage and committed relationship is even doubling down on the story for the single Virgos, especially. Holy man. But if you're with somebody, it could be an engagement. Somebody's going to propose, or you're with somebody and you're dating and they want to move in together, or you're just having a few dates and they want to commit. Jupiter is elevating your commitment levels in love until the middle of May and the last 2 months of 22. So right now, Jupiter on Eros, you know, passion and, you know, Cupid's arrow, infatuation, sometimes life force energy, is loving up Uranus in the house of foreign lands and academic settings, and looking back over his shoulder down at Mars exalted in Capricorn. And to me, there's some small event that could be happening in the love story part of your life that's really going to roll into a longer commitment. Now, if you are already with someone, it just intensifies the connection and takes it up a notch. And this can also be about other fifth house things, like independent business enterprise is fifth house, having your own company, your own business. So some of you might be making a fresh start in that part of the sky, new beginnings, partnering up with others, because Venus and Mars can represent a collaborative effort of the, you know, masculine, feminine energies. You could also find this is about your children, because the fifth house is about children. So this could be about a breakthrough going on in the life of a child, a new set for them. And it gives you personally a sense of freedom in the ninth house. You know, your kid's finally off to school and you feel free because they're going off to college, or you might feel like, grandchildren. Uranus is in the house of grandchildren for you Virgos, and with that unexpected energy and the cosmic lovers down there in the fifth house of your children, Jupiter the sperminator in your seventh house sextiling all of that, could be information or news that one of your children has got a baby on the way. All right, so keep that in mind too. Practically speaking, this is a good time for speculative investments, taking a bit of a risk, like buying a lottery ticket or something, but with a cautious note, right? It's just, you know, Venus is in a lucky house, and there's a lot of luck in the sky with Jupiter in Pisces, sextiling all of that. So just a little bit of fun with a lottery ticket or a gamble here and there won't hurt you this week, and it could pay off, but nothing to excess at all, please. I'm just giving you speculative advice. I'm not the master of your finance. Libra, sun, moon, rising sign. Well, the cosmic lovers, Jupiter and Venus, are connecting together in your fourth house of home and real estate and land, and the base of your place, you know, where you're living. It's also the house of your mother and the ancestral line. Now, with this energy down here in the sky, this connection between Venus and Mars, is a reset, a new beginning around money or love, connected to your home. At the same time, you've got this trine from Uranus in the eighth house of bank loans and mortgages and money we can get from selling a property. And with Uranus there could be an opportunity coming to you to suddenly sell a piece of property, right? Or suddenly divest of something that requires eighth house energies. So yeah, you might find out that a property that you bought is appreciated dramatically, and you got an offer from a random real estate agent knocking on your door. You know, I don't know, but there's like money from the eighth house is coming, and it's connected to the fourth. Now, both 4 and 8 are legacy houses and have to do with inheritances. And so money reset in the fourth house with Venus could be a legacy asset, like the sudden death of a family member up the line, like a mother maybe, or father figure, or grandfather. And that is going to lead to bequeathment energy. Jupiter is in your sixth house, and he's got this luck. He's got Eros with him, right? The god of passion and erotic impulse. And he's looking over at Uranus in your money house, and he's looking back over his shoulder at Mars in your fourth house of home and real estate. Now, this could be something to do with a positive new direction, a passionate energy, to do with more about your home and maybe renovating, because Mars can construct things in Capricorn, and beautifying with Venus your home so that your work life is better, like building a home office or adding an extension to the home, a studio outside so you can work in the studio, things like that, and getting the money, the loan in the eighth house successfully in order to build that part of your reality or redecorate or construct something new in your home. All right, we're moving next to Scorpio. Scorpio, sun, moon, rising sign people. Oh, my shoulder, guys. I slept on my shoulder so weird last night, and it's really, really sore. Okay, so Scorpio, sun, moon, rising sign people, you are in this sense of the cosmic lover reset button of money and love and exalted new directions in your third house, right? And your third house has to do with your local neighborhood, friends that live in the local area you live in, your siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, online learning, like learning something. It's a short-term learning or skills-based learning, or if you're still in high school or elementary school, that part of your reality. And the third house is also the house of writing and the house of oracles and diviners and crystal ball gazers. There's a whole lot of stuff that goes on in that third house, I have to say. Online social media as well. So this busy, busy third house is busy. It's got, Venus and Mars and Mercury and Pluto there right now. So a lot of you Scorpios feel really busy in that third house. And it's the house of selling and marketing as well. And if that's part of your path, you're like on the hustle to do your selling and marketing. But with this reset here, if you are a single Scorpio, sun or moon or rising, and the lovers are resetting in the third house, you could meet somebody at a coffee shop, a cafe, the neighborhood pub, love can be birthed in the local environment, a party at a friend's house in the neighborhood, or sometimes the online world, yes, Tinder and Hinge and all of that. With this energy in a beautiful trine to Uranus in the seventh house for single Scorpios, this can look like that is a dramatic connection to a new love story that could go into a commitment pretty quickly, but with somebody outside the box, different than you normally would be engaged in relationship with. With Uranus here and you're married already, you've already been dealing with this since 2018 with you and your significant other or long-term partner. So you've had to expand and give each other a lot more freedom and reinvent the relationship if it survived that ingress in 2018-19. And so now you have this sense of more freedom, more individuality, more interdependence in your relationship to whoever you're with. And now with this energy of Venus and Mars in the third house, it could be a trip because that's the house of trips and travel. And so maybe you and your love are taking a trip, or an opportunity opens up for a trip in the next week or so that looks exciting and fortifies the relationship and takes the romance to another level. Because Jupiter's in the house of romance and sexuality for you, where he will be until middle of May and the last couple of months of 22. A lot of Scorpios need to be careful that they or their partner do not get pregnant if it's not something you're wanting. If you're wanting it, it's fantastic. Jupiter brings blessings to the idea of fertility and children when he's in your fifth house. So yay you. And so this is a time for fertility. Now, if you're creative, an artist or a singer or a songwriter or performer, Jupiter's expanding your muse and growing it really big here. And this can also be a time with Uranus giving the connection point to Eros, passion, Jupiter, opportunity for the creative artistic types. There's an opportunity emerging for you in the sky in terms of the kind of art or creativity you are producing. And if you have your own business, the same thing applies, an independent business breakthrough or opportunity. With Mars doing the follow stance, again, a trip for some of you could be like, we're just going to take a trip. I'm going to take a trip, or I'm going to do a trip. And it turns out to have life-changing implications. All right, Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. Cosmic lovers are dancing together in a near perfect time of a tango leading to a conjunction on February 16th, but they're doing the dance in your second house. And it's this week that we have that trine to Uranus in your sixth house. So second house, I hope I said that, to sixth house. This is definitely work and money related for most of you. There's something going on around earnings, resources, and possessions, second house themes, that are connecting to Uranus in the work house. So a promotion, a raise, a better job can suddenly break through. That brings you a great reset of finances for you in your life. And dramatic change in the workplace can, really accelerate the luck in your home life, because Jupiter in Pisces, next to passionate Eros in the house of homeland real estate, can activate incredible joy and expansion and optimism in your home base of your sky, with Uranus supporting that from the workplace, and the health routines with Mars and Venus also in the second house teaming in. Mars is on follows, right? So what kind of small monetary change is going to take place maybe in the week ahead that is going to really support you to enjoy your life in your home life? And maybe it could be something like, I don't know, Mars and Venus, Mars exalted, Mars spends money. And when he is in the second house, Venus, so is of course doing her best in Capricorn to keep money in your second house right now of earnings. But Mars likes to spend. You might have to make a big investment or expenditure that's going to radically transform your joy at home, but it's probably worth it because Venus is supporting that. And that small change that you make, that small investment or monetary expenditure with Mars and Capricorn in your second house this week, is going to radically help bring greater joy to your life and your home and domestic life, as well as radical changes in the way you do the work you do. Capricorn, sun, moon, rising sign. So Capricorn people are having Venus and Mars co-joined in the house of them, their body, their personality, who they are, who they think they are, and the character they're here to play. Now, certainly if your rising sign is anywhere, for goodness sakes, between, let's say, 6 to, 15 degrees of Capricorn, you really feel this. This is really hitting you, this kind of reset button on money and love, on the identity and on the body. And Mars will make you want to exercise a bit more, but be more commanding, more forthright, and more uncompromising warrior-like qualities coming through your character right now, through who you are. And right now with Venus there, it's tempered with Venus, right? She's bonifying Mars, snuggling him up and making him more happy. So you're trying to find a refined version of what's going on in the sky, balanced with Venus. This could definitely change your wardrobe at the very least. This reset with Venus's presence could be a change of the way you dress in the world and significant shift of your presentation in the world. Uranus in the fifth house can be very dramatically trining from your house of your children, romance, independent business enterprise, to name a few meanings of the fifth house. This trine from Uranus or Mars to Uranus, this could be sudden, unexpected change for some of you Capricorn risings in particular, with your primary romantic love relationship. Because Venus and Mars in the house of your identity are a reset energy or a new beginning. If you are a single Capricorn, this could be an exciting new romance that totally informs your identity and makes you really resets who you are. But there's definitely that, or a child leaves the nest and it resets who you are, or a child comes home to the nest, or a child, this is an unexpected pregnancy energy. Sometimes Uranus is going through your fifth house, but there's this fifth house bolts of change that are coming through to your first house of you. Small changes, follows in your body, in your health, in a sense of identity that you reset now are going to have really big snowball effects later. Jupiter in your third house is trining Mars in your first house and trining Uranus in your fifth house. In essence, Jupiter wants to bring single Capricorns, and you love romance, from the local environment, the local hood, the cafes and pubs and stuff like that, or a learning place, like you're taking a seminar, or you're learning something. For you Capricorns, it's usually about work. You're taking a work seminar and you meet somebody and bad eyes across a crowded Zoom room, and the next thing you know, you're romantically up and at it. Or you're taking an auspicious, lucky trip and travel somewhere, and it leads to sudden and exciting romance. I do want to say, though, for a lot of Capricorns, Mars is uncompromising, and he's bold and he's exalted in Capricorn. Looking across at the descendant for you in Cancer means for some of you, with that bolt of energy from Uranus, a relationship can end. and maybe by your own agency, but I don't know. But for some of you, it could be like thunder, lightning, thunder, lightning, the way you love me is frightening. But Uranus there could be a big shocking revelation from your lover or your significant other partner that can also cause the relationship to end. But if that happens, I'm telling you, Jupiter sextiling and Uranus trining and all of that stuff, it's a blessed ending. It's the best thing for you. Totally. Okay. Don't despair. And when it comes to money resets as well, money luck comes from the 5th house, like speculation, lotteries, and jackpots. And I don't know, a sextile to Jupiter in your 3rd house, play the local lottery, play something like the neighborhood bingo hall, or something to do with your local environment, and you may cash in some way. Aquarius, sun, moon, rising sign. Well, here we go, guys. This is really interesting. We have Uranus. I'm going to tell you my story, okay? I think I told it in the beginning. Uranus is in my 4th house of real estate, homes, and land and stuff. And I had an insurance policy, because this has been playing out since February 2nd. I had an insurance policy with a friend who co-owned a cottage with me, and boom, then we got a rebate check from the insurance company to do with an IPO or something. And we don't even have the property. And boom, there's this check coming to me a couple of days ago, a windfall connected to real estate. Well, for a lot of us Aquarius, is that Venus, the money goddess in the 12th house, is in that, with that Mars exalted new reset in love and money in our 12th house, which is karmatic. Windfalls are coming from our karmic part of our chart, connected to home, land, and real estate, or legacy wealth, like inheritances. And this is playing out all the way through to the end of this week, or like till around February the 10th and 11th at the very latest. So because Venus and Mars are sitting in the 12th house of our dreams at night, in our meditations and our reveries, it could come into our life also through sudden realizations or recognitions that we get through the non-ordinary superconscious mind. If you're trying to get rid of an addiction or bad habit, like me, I quit wine right now, I'm on a wine reset, then Mars is really helpful here. Mars is giving a lot of Aquarians the willpower to quit smoking, to quit, my daughter's a Taurus sun and she's quit vaping, and Mars is right now in a beautiful Earth trine to her Taurus sun. So Mars gives us the gumption from Capricorn, where he's exalted, to have the willpower to quit things that are self-undoing for us, whether it's a Netflix binging habit or it's an addiction like to a substance. So in this sense, Mars right now resetting that part of the sky for Aquarius is also then fortifying dramatic and positive directions to do with our home. With Jupiter in the 2nd house of earnings, yay, yes, Aquarius, till the middle of May, possessions, earnings, resources, and flow of money. And later on, the last 2 months of 22, we're rocking it in the money story. And this is a place of goodness for us. And sometimes Jupiter here could bring a lot of money quickly. So we got to learn to hold on to it, not let it all go. But it can lead to that energy here with the Uranus in the 4th in Taurus, Jupiter in Pisces connected in a sextile, lucky financial breaks regarding home and land and real estate. Play it as you will. I have no idea what that's going to look like, but that's what it says. Getting a great deal on a rental, getting a great offer to sell your house, whatever. And then you also have, Mars on Tholos in the 12th house. What small incremental shift or change are you going to make from a 12th house place that changes your resources and finances and home in a positive way? For example, mindset, soul work, that kind of stuff, getting rid of a vow of poverty or something that's stuck. For love stories, Aquarius are single will find love from 12th house places that resets the storyline for you. What is the 12th house place? Foreign shores and foreign lands is one of them. Somebody who's not immediately available, like a little bit offside, you can't really connect right away. So it's someone who lives a little bit far away, not proximate to where you live, can't touch your body because it's an inversion to the ascendant, at least not yet. And then the other thing with the Capricorn piece is that soulmate love, like Venus and Capricorn in the 12th for Aquarius is trying to karmatic love, soulmate love, call it what you will, that vibe. Okay. Really good for your money if you are Aquarius who has a PayPal Stripe income, because this reset is happening in your 12th house, new sources and new beginnings of revenue from foreign lands and foreign shores. With Uranus, it can also be very sudden and dramatic, or it can be just some great idea about how you make more money from foreign lands and foreign shores from things you're doing dramatically regarding your home. So parse it all, right, guys? How to mix these up, mix and match. Last but not least is Pisces people. Pisces, you're having this reset of your money and love stories in your 11th house of great gains from your career. So if you've been having trouble making money in your career path, now is a reset button starting out for sure. Boom, new beginnings. And love as well. If you're a single Pisces and you want some love, it's going to come through the house of social groups and friendships. A new beginning because a friend introduces you to someone, or because you belong to the church club or the book club or some kind of belonging group, and you can find reset button, new love there, especially with Uranus, little reckless love, a little wild outside the box love affair. And Uranus is in the 3rd house of trips and travel. So it could happen through that, or through things you're doing by learning stuff, or through your local neighborhood environment at the coffee shop or the cafe. A friend says, hey, Joe, I want you to meet Susan. I think you guys would like each other at the bar. Next thing you know, you and Susan are having a dramatic love affair full of passion. Pholos is that, asteroid on Capricorn Mars that is about a small thing leading like Meghan Markle at one date with Harry, leading to her becoming a princess, who then leads a domino to Harry and Meghan leaving the royal family, and who knows what the next domino will be. So it's that one time that you Pisces decide to go down to Starbucks that day, even though you hate their burnt coffee, and a friend happens to be there and they're sitting with another person, they introduce you to the person and love blooms. That kind of thing. Incidental, accidental, crazy ass, weird stuff like that. The 11th house is your dreams and wishes and friends and allies and what you want for your life. And Venus is there and she's benefic. So you're having a lot of charm in that part of your sky until she leaves in the first week of March, at the end of the first week of March. Now, Venus is talking with Mars in a collaborative discussion with Jupiter in your 1st house of your body and your identity. This is good news for your health. This is a reset of your health. And it's a big reset because Venus wants you to do things that you love and desire. And Mars is similarly like that you're passionate about regarding your body. So Mars is an exercise god. So new exercise patterns, new athletic things, new things, pleasures and joys around moving in ways that you love, like take up the tango and you realize you love it more than you ever loved yoga, that kind of thing. And Mars and Venus, therefore, are loving up and looking at Jupiter, who's sitting with Eros, what brings you passion, life force energy to your body, especially if you're a Pisces rising, especially if your rising sign is anywhere between, let's say in the first 15 degrees of Pisces, you're really getting a lot of what I'm talking about. You are lucky right now. Jupiter's in your 1st house. He just got there though on December 29th. And he's bringing you luck until mid-May in the last 2 months of 22. And some of this luck has to do with maybe trips and travel, Uranus in the 3rd house. And I didn't say that, but this could be a sudden opportunity to connect with a sibling or to travel somewhere because those siblings and travel energies are 3rd house energies, or maybe a sudden trip from a sibling to see you, or a sudden event going on with trips and travel. Okay, so it's all very luscious, it's all very sweet. And if you're gonna look at this as a prosperity story, lastly, Pisces, pennies from heaven, kind of a windfall vibe. Can it be that 11th house? And Venus is a money goddess and Mars is exalted and they're on Pholos. That one ticket that you bought at the local, because Uranus is in the 3rd house, or online vendor on a lark, pays off big and you feel so lucky. So there's that too. Don't forget to buy your ticket. And we have a saying in Canada on our lotteries, know your limit, play within it. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go. I hope I was looking at you half the time. I'm losing the light here in Vancouver, Canada. My hair, which I can't wait to get cut, hasn't been cut in a year, is extra wavy today because I did not actually blow dry it. This is my normal curl. You know what the problem with my curl is, Pisces? It doesn't stay. Like, it looks curly today because today was the day it air dried, but tomorrow it'll look just like really bad. So I don't have enough of this kink in it naturally for it to hold for days at a time. So I only get one day, the day after I shampoo, that I can get my hair to look this good without blow dry. Pisces, you got my hair story today for some reason. All right, thanks guys for listening. Like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the buttons for notifications. You know the drill. Thank you guys.